Hello there. Welcome to Folsom Prison. I'd like to tell you that these old prison cells were built in 1878 from granite, native to this area. This was before the use of electricity, which was not installed until many years later. So prisoners were furnished with candles. The candle lengths were cut to a fraction of an inch and were supposed to last a month. But when the days were dark, it was pretty hard to make it last until a new candle was issued. Later, oil lamps were used, and each prisoner was given a specified amount of fuel. Now, since there was no heat in the cells, the lamps provided a minimal heat source. During rainy and foggy day lockups, a serious drain was made on prisoners' individual lamp oil allotments, and lamp oil theft was common. All water had to be hauled to the prison by wagon, so bath days were few and far between. Water was limited to drinking and the cleaning of buckets. Each prisoner was given 2 buckets, one for drinking and one for toilet facilities. Little thought was given to comfort, and during prison crowding, these 2-man cells housed up to 4 men. A reporter for a California newspaper was permitted to inspect the cell blocks in 1880 and informed his readers, "God help the criminals doomed to confinement in these cells. They'll never see any other light but that of a flickering candle." The walls around the prison are made of the same granite as the cell blocks and extend 15 feet below ground level to discourage tunneling. The walls surround 3 sides of the prison, with the American River Canyon serving as a natural border on the 4th side. Before the walls were completed, prisoners were kept within boundary lines by dead shot tower guards armed with either Gatling machine guns or Winchester or Henry rifles. Discipline was enforced with the use of wooden clubs or lead-tipped canes. Punishment for rule infractions consisted of solitary confinement and rations of bread and water with a meal of beans, bread, and sweetened tea every 3rd day. The prisoner had to sit or lay on the stone floor for 12 hours a day in total darkness. Because of the difficulty of removing vermin from the cracks and crevices of the old wooden beds, they were replaced with beds made of iron. Meals were served 3 times a day and consisted of boiled pork and some type of beans. For instance, breakfast was a grain cereal and blackstrap molasses, pork, beans, and coffee. Lunch was a bean soup, along with boiled pork, potatoes, gravy, and tea. Supper provided boiled beans, rice, bread, and sweetened tea. Bread was only served once a day. In later years, the dairy, the ranch, and vegetable gardens began producing food, and orchards began to bear fruit. Now, this improved the quality and selection of the prisoners' meager fare. On Christmas, Thanksgiving, and the 4th of July, a special meal was served of either roast lamb or chicken, mashed potatoes, gravy, cheese, mince pie, apricots, coffee, and sugar. The first escape took place in November of 1880. A prisoner slipped away from a work detail on a foggy morning and made his way to Sacramento. After challenging a few patrons to a fist fight in a saloon, he was taken into custody and returned to Folsom. The first of only 6 female prisoners was received on November 7, 1885, with the last female coming to Folsom in 1929. I offered to let one stay here with me, but they were housed in the administration building and assigned menial chores by the warden's wife. Early prison directors were opposed to releasing prisoners on parole before serving a full term. So if you come here again, I'll still be here.